The Comfortably Zoned Radio Network presents Sex, Stand-Up and Silliness with Maria Falzone. Hello, everybody. My name is Ralph Tyko.
Are you going to welcome me and introduce me?
Am I going to?
Yes, or do I just start talking?
Okay. I just pushed the button, and I'm going to turn it off again. You know what? Let's just keep it spontaneous like this. Am I ever going to introduce you? I'm Ralph Tyko. This is the Comfortably Zoned Radio Network. And the woman of the hour starting her own show on this network. This is the premiere show. It's called Sex, Stand-Up and Silliness, Ms. Maria Falzone.
Thank you. And it's Falzone. It's Falzone like calzone because I'm a
We're all learning. This is new. This is a
I'm a spicy
Falzone like calzone. So all these years I didn't know. Well, I'm delighted that you're a member of the Comfortably Zoned Radio Network. You have a lot of plans to have a lot of fun and informative and make people laugh, which humor is wonderful. I'm so happy to have you on the network. Take it away. Do your thing, Maria Falzone.
Thank you, Ralph. Thank you. And just let me say that you have the perfect voice for Comfortably Zoned. Your voice just sounds comfortably zoned.
I certainly have a face for radio. Let's put it that way.
Can I tell you, I'm in my PJs, and I was sitting there going, I love podcasting. I'm in my PJs, and I can just walk around my house and chat to the people and have people listen in.
What are your plans to do? You're going to do this on a semi-regular basis, and
I am. I think I'm going to do in the beginning. I'm going to do twice a month, and it may become every week. But I think I'm going to do twice a month, and I think depending on what people message me or on Facebook, they can go to my my page, which is sexrules.com, or actually, you know what? You can edit that out, and we'll just do mariafalzone.com.
Okay.
I don't know.
You want to do that? You want to do that as the name of your show, Maria Falzone?
No, I don't.
All right. Well, let's keep it as it is. And we're always tempted to make changes.
And then you know what? I can't have people go to sexrules.com. That's a porn site, and it's not a good one.
Oh, right. If we're a good one, at least you'd have something.
If you're going to go to a good porn site.
Right.
So no, it's sexrules.org. But we can figure that out. I think we'll just right now, Facebook. They can find me on Facebook, Maria Falzone, comedian. And I'll pop up.
You want to talk about how you're going to mix your comedy just as you do in your lecture series that you have to different colleges and what have you. Why don't you start out by telling the folks what you do and how you do it in the colleges?
Okay. All right. Yeah. So for the past 20 years, this is my 20th year. I can't even believe it. I have been going around the country lecturing to universities, to college kids at universities on safer sex and sexual assault prevention. And the name of the show is Sex Rules, and it's the rules on how to have greater and safer sex. And really the emphasis is on greater sex, and that safer sex is part of that. But, college kids aren't going to listen if you go, listen, this is what you have to do and this is not what you want to do. But if I tell you how to have really great sex, you're invested, because who the hell doesn't want to have great sex? I don't think anyone wakes up and goes, God, I want some shitty sex today. I mean, that's what they might be left with, is shitty sex, but that was not the goal.
Well, you start out with high intentions. Let's put it that way.
Yes, exactly. Where people end up, what's that expression, shoot for the stars and you might end up in the moon?
That's right.
Isn't that the expression?
Right. Or you may end up getting mooned, which
yes, you could end up getting
a full cycle with what you'd like to do. I'll bet, and I haven't heard any of your lectures, and I'll bet having fun is part of the sex, stressing the fact that we're all human. We could be silly. We could just relax with it and not be stressed out with it. I'll bet that's a major component in what you do.
Absolutely. I think it's a good balance of both, and I just like what I want this show to be, is a balance of both. The thing I didn't like about stand-up was it was like joke, 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 joke. And there was never, like, space to go ahead and get deeper into a subject or to just be vulnerable or candid. And when I started lecturing, I thought, I can do it all. I can actually impact people using humor, lightening it up when I need to, but also maybe even making a point with the joke because, as we know, humor is powerful. Laughter is powerful, and Shakespeare the fool always spoke the truth. Because when people laugh, they never laugh at I shouldn't say, sometimes you're laughing, you're like, oh no, that was so fucking gross.
Are they laughing with me or are they laughing at me? That kind of
hopefully with me. And at me sometimes is okay, but not always.
Absolutely. If you can laugh at them and have them laugh at you, then you find a common denominator. Because there is something funny about all of us, our vulnerability. And sex really brings that out in folks. Communication is so important with sex.
Absolutely, and most people don't. Most people don't know how to. They don't know how to communicate because they're afraid. They're afraid of doing it wrong. They're afraid of saying the wrong thing. They're afraid of embarrassing people. So for 20 years, I have stories. I have experiences.
They're afraid of talking about it, hearing the words, and just because we've been taught that it isn't something to be discussed. It's something to be hidden. It only goes on. You only talk in the bedroom, and you don't discuss it.
Well, if you're lucky. If you're lucky, you talk in the bedroom.
Now, you must have been, I'm just guessing, you must have grown up in a sex-healthy atmosphere. Your parents must have passed.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You want to hear my mother? This was my mother. My parents protected my virginity when I came out of the womb. Sex was something that was shameful. My mother always said, men are pigs, men are pigs, men are pigs. Men want one thing, and if you give them that thing before you get married, when you die, you go to hell. Because my mother was a little Sicilian woman from the old country. So there was a lot of shame around sex. My dad talked about it openly, but you wait till you get married to do that. So it wasn't. I had to unlearn a lot of stuff. I had to get rid of a lot of shame. I had to really question what I thought about sex. And I think, it's not about providing the answers a lot of times. It's about asking the questions because sex is very personal. And hopefully in this show what I'm going to encourage people to do is to take that journey for themselves. Because sex starts in the mind. It doesn't even start in the body. And people don't even know what they think about sex because they've been told what to think about sex. So really I want to start getting people to think, how do you think about sex? Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Who are some of the guests you're going to have on that you plan to have? And where do they come from? Do they come from the comic world? Do they come from when I say the sex world?
Yeah, absolutely. Sex industry, absolutely. People that are sex workers. I want people that have written books. I want people who talk about relationships and fidelity. I have a friend who puts on a conference in Los Angeles. It's called Catalyst Con, and I'd like to go ahead and have her on. Her name is Dee Dennis, and she puts on an amazing event, and people talk about all types of sex. Aging. Joan Price is a great author, and she talks about sex and aging, and she's written some books. I really would like to go ahead and I'm going to say something that's going to sound a little edgy. I'm going to be really thoughtful about the comedians that I choose. Because I think a lot of times comedians perpetuate the shame and the embarrassment around sex. And a lot of comedians are homophobic. And that's not the kind of humor that I want. That's not the kind of humor that I do.
Okay, well,
So
there are comedians that aren't that way. And
absolutely, and those are the comedians I'm going to invite onto the show.
Right. You'll have a fair pick of that because I can personally tell you that there are a number of folks that are very, very sex positive. And
right.
And when I say
it's really interesting, Ralph, because when I go out there to the clubs, my whole stand-up routine was in a lot of ways a reaction because, you know, when I came up doing stand-up, there weren't a lot of women doing stand-up.
Right.
So, and I was following guys talking about, you know, Jimmy jamming and jizzing all over. I remember one time I had to follow a guy who jizzed, and he was Jimmy jamming all over the place. I had to follow the Jimmy Jam jizzing guy.
Right. Oh, boy. Yeah, who picks this lineup for a $50 gig, right? Where you have to drive.
Yeah, well, you know what? That was even an open mic. It wasn't even. It wasn't.
Oh, it wasn't even a paid.
Even a paid gig. Even a paid gig.
People think,
I don't even know how many years of stand-up. I think I've been 30 years of stand-up comedy that I've done, and so yeah, I will have comedians on the show. But you know, I don't know how many comedians I'm going to have on the show.
Okay.
We'll see as time progresses.
I really want to.
Yeah,
I want
really
you to
want to focus on the sex. I want to focus on.
When people think of the sex industry, when they think of surrogates, when they have no idea what that is, it's almost like the industry gets such a bad reputation because of fear, and I want you to help with that. You can make, you know, if you can talk to the masses about their sexuality and make them feel good, that's the first step in peace. If you'd rather fuck somebody than blow them up, wouldn't that be good? You know, just from that standpoint, you could change the world, and not just the world.
Absolutely,
that's
the goal.
People that you're talking to.
Wait a minute. There's two things that I really want people to clear. The commitment to the show is to bring sex out of the dark and into the light. That it's light-filled. It's a light-filled show about sex and sexuality where people aren't shamed, and that they actually can tune in. And there's so much shame and fear and ignorance around sex. And, you know, the statistics are appalling. 1 in 3 women have been sexually molested. 1 in 5 men have been sexually molested. And I sit there and I think, what would happen if we could change those statistics? What could happen if I changed those statistics? That if somebody listens to the show and they're a parent and they go ahead and they teach their children the name of their genitals, because that's such a powerful thing to happen to empower a child. We always say that knowledge is power, but knowledge is also protection. And we don't protect our children. We want to keep them ignorant, and we want to keep them innocent. You know, and here's the thing. There are people out there that take advantage of that innocence.
Maria, I can take it one step further and make you feel so much better about what you're going to do, and you feel good about it already. You're going to be teaching people things that they're going to be passing on to their kids. And their kids
absolutely,
or
like when I go to a
some
college,
cycles in families of passing on a bunch of bullshit for generations and generations, and you're going to make a difference long after we're gone. Long after.
That's the hope. That's the goal. That is the goal.
Right.
You know, when I talk to college kids, I say to them what I wish my parents had said to me. I wish someone had said what I say to young people to me. And here's the crazy thing. Most young people want to hear this stuff from their parents. They don't want to hear it from me. They don't want to hear it from their teacher. They don't want to hear it during gym class. They'd like to hear it in their own homes. And when I talk to parents, they're afraid. They're afraid of doing the wrong thing. Well, I can tell you the wrong thing is being silent. The wrong thing is not saying anything, because you could give your kid the wrong information and just sit there and say to them, you know that thing I told you the other day about anal sex? That wasn't right. This is the right information. And the kid will not hate you. They'll go, oh, gee, thanks. Thanks for the correction. I mean, it's more devastating not to say something than it is to say something, and to say something that isn't correct, because you want to keep the lines of communication open. And like you hit upon a really important point, the key to having great sex is being able to communicate. How can you communicate if you've never even spoken about that, and you don't even have the tools to do that within your own family? You weren't raised to talk about sex.
Right.
So here you are in a sexual situation, and you don't know what to do. It's uncomfortable. So, you know, and none of it's taboo. Like, none of it's taboo. I want dungeon masters on the show, you know, people who run dungeons. I want sadists. I want masochists on the show. I want vanilla people on the show. And I also want people that are asexual, because that's like a whole community that's really silenced that people don't know anything about. No, all of it.
And you want straight people too that are just doing it the straight way, and
absolutely,
you know,
yeah, vanilla. That's
stories.
Yeah,
vanilla is a flavor. It's not for everybody, but it is a flavor, and
it's the flavor that we're all given in the beginning. Is vanilla,
right? And it's supposed to be the way, and this, that, and the other thing. And you could also you could alleviate their fears. I think, based on my experience in life, not just with sex, with everything, it's our fear of it all, fear of the unknown, fear of, what if it's so good, this is the only person I want? That kind of thing.
What if it's so good? You know, for me, it's like, what if it's so good and then it ends? Shit, I got to go look for it again.
Right. Exactly.
Or will I ever get enough of it? Or will I not get enough? You know, I mean, there's so many concerns. Sometimes it's not even serious concerns.
When can you just think of it separately too, with you know, the experience of the intimacy part? Can people disassociate? Friends with benefits, that type of thing. Can you have sex without being intimate? I'm just talking, not you, but I'm talking about people have that to face.
Well, some people can and some people can't. You know,
right.
And there's nothing wrong with that. You just, the ultimate, the first rule of having great sex is know yourself. Sex starts with you, not what's in a porn. It's not what's in Cosmopolitan magazine, not what's in Men's Health, not what's in Playboy, not on whatever porn site you're looking at. It starts with you.
Right,
you know,
how you're feeling.
Personal.
And basically how you're feeling about yourself.
People to do that.
Yeah, how you're feeling about yourself is going to really determine how you're going to relate to others. Because if you're looking for ways to do well sexually, you better feel confident, or it's going to show right through, and you're not.
Well, I don't agree with that.
I
don't agree with that,
because
there's some people out there that are into a whole different kind of play, and that's not what they're looking for. I mean, there is no. The first thing is, I don't know if it's confident. It's definitely comfortable. And there's some people who never want to have sex, or they don't want to have sex with other people. I mean, the thing I just want to say to people, wherever you're at, it's okay, because that's where you're at. You can't be somewhere different. You can have an idea of where you want to go, but you have to accept where you're at. You know, it's what we resist persists. So to embrace exactly where you're at, and to figure out why you're there, and you want to continue to stay there, and then to take the steps to move forward and to create your sex life, because it is a creation and it's an ongoing creation. Because what you could do and what you want to do when you're young and as you get older is very different. Our bodies change, our way of living changes, our energy changes, and I'm talking about stamina changes. All of that changes.
Sure.
And so if you're rigid in your thoughts and your beliefs, then it's really difficult to be fluid in your sexual expression. So it all
should have
starts
the attitude
with
that you want to try new things. You want to try to expand. It isn't something. because you could probably, people have been getting by with the missionary position, the one position, for thousands of millions of years. That's cool. But why not?
I don't know about that. We don't know.
Well,
really, I think that, when I think about
that's true. Hieroglyphics, you see things on hieroglyphics. People.
On hieroglyphics, yeah. But the other thing is that there was no books, right? There was no TV. There were no other distractions. What the hell else were you going to do in the winter?
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So for us to think that people were just doing it, they were probably having orgies, hanging off of freaking icicles and stalactites. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Because it wasn't much else to do.
Restrictions didn't come generally until religion. For one reason or another, religion has always tended, for the most part, to put sort of a damper on sexuality.
Some religions, some not. Within the Jewish tradition, it's some pretty cool things. You're going to go have sex.
No, I was thinking more in terms of Catholicism.
Christianity. Yeah,
Christianity
absolutely.
In general. It generalizes things, of course.
Absolutely. And when you go from having no birth control to having birth control, or not having a way to manage how many pregnancies you're going to have and how many children you're going to have, and what that does,
right?
To your body, and what that does to your sex drive and all the other stuff.
Even today, I mean, you don't have to be to have birth control on your mind and juggle that when you're trying to be sexual. You don't have to be religious to have it be a definite concern. One of the things you told me that you talk about is how to, for instance, in your lectures, how to have fun with contraception and what have you, how to make that work. There's a lot of nervousness around that.
Oh, yeah, how to use a condom and how to sexualize the condoms and safer sex and yeah, absolutely. And it all starts with what your thoughts and your opinions and your ideas. And the question is, do you want to continue to have them? So every week there'll be a topic. And really, I want this show to be so interactive because I want to hear from my listeners. And I want to be able to, this is the email. This was the question that came in this week. And to have a segment where we actually go, or that may even drive the whole show, or people who, we talk about erectile dysfunction. And there's a reason as you get older, it's difficult to go ahead and maintain an erection. It really has to do with muscle control. And, our muscles atrophy, and there's a muscle that controls your erection. It controls your ejaculation. When you're younger, you want to develop that muscle so you can last a long time, and you can go ahead and control your ejaculation. As you get older, you want to go ahead and develop that muscle so you can actually get an erection. And so the pharmaceutical company steps in with all of these medicines that can actually end up harming you when there's just a series of exercises to do. And there's a gentleman who went ahead
Maria,
and
that's wonderful. Wonderful. I love hearing it because I'm an upper middle-aged guy, and my body changes over the years. And I have sworn I don't want to take any of those supplements. I don't want to juice up because of the side effects of it.
Yep.
You put a chemical in your body, how good can that be for you? And
well, for some people, it's not very good. They end up with headaches, and the side effects are pretty incredible. And then for some, there are no side effects. But we don't know what the long-term effects of that. And really, there's a way to get around that. So, I mean, those are the people that I want to go ahead and have on the show. And so the funny will come, and the silliness will come, and the jokes will come. That's just a given. It's really important to get the information out and to start this conversation. And
okay, what I want to interject is that if you will ask your audience what they want to hear, in other words, your people on Facebook, have them personal message you how they want the show to go. and have them ask you questions that they want to hear and questions they may know that they want to help you formulate the questions and all of that. Your friends on Facebook, the people that will hear you, they will respond positively because what you're doing is terrific. And I just want to tell you, as we come to the end, I'm delighted that you're going to be such an additive to the network. And I can't thank you enough for considering doing it and thinking it through and really putting thought behind it. And I'm thrilled.
Yeah, absolutely. I am too. So really, I want to hear from people. I want you to go to my Facebook page or even on Twitter, at Maria Falzone on Twitter, and send me a message on Twitter. And I will go ahead and formulate the show. And I'm thinking, when's a good day to launch? Does it even matter when to launch the show?
Well, I'm going to launch it tomorrow. When you wake up, the show will be launched. You will have a show.
So tomorrow's Wednesday, right? Because it's good to keep it, every other Wednesday.
Every other Wednesday you'll have a show.
Yeah, you know what? If it's this easy, I may just go ahead and do it. And what's the longest you suggest? 30 minutes?
I suggest 30 minutes. That would be nice.
Yeah, good. And then
I don't say the longest, 30, and if it's going good, keep it going. If you feel that you want to keep it going, do 45. If you want to do an hour, just do an hour. Every now and again, just say you're on the Comfortably Zoned radio network.
That's right.
And I'm happy you are indeed. I'll throw something out there for the folks that are listening to a show. If you're going to have a safe word, you don't want it to be harder. Pick another
pickle.
Safe word.
Pickle can end anything. And I have to tell you, Ralph, what made me decide to do this show was when I was on Facebook and someone had posted a rant that Rush Limbaugh was actually ranting about federal money given to lesbians to become farmers. And I thought, if someone can actually go ahead and have a syndicated fucking radio show and talk about and be outraged about lesbian farmers, I need to be on the radio because I don't want to be outraged by anything. I really just want to be tickled by stuff. And I posted that and I got such funny responses. People were like, do you mean to tell me my vegetables don't come from lesbian farmers? The outrage. And then somebody else was, they must make some really great melons. And they would.
What goes through this man's head when he gets up in the morning, how he reads the paper, and that's what he reacts to. He doesn't react to the voting system is so screwed up that we have no idea what's real, what isn't, the electoral. That's not what bothers him. Lesbian farmers.
Oh, no, he's probably, no, he rants about that kind of stuff, too, but the lesbian farmers, come on, really? Someone needs to defend lesbian farmers, and I have taken on that role. I am defending the lesbian farmers and the transgender tractor drivers.
Oh, man, you can't see it in the radio. My right fist is up in the air and it is clenched. So that will never show through.
You know what? Can we get some, just given what's happened with this election, first of all, we really need to shore up and go ahead and ensure that sexual freedom, sexual rights continue for everybody. And that
Planned Parenthood is clearly defined as something that isn't just abortion. They teach sexuality, they teach birth control, so it doesn't get to abortion.
Right.
Is a very small part of it.
Conversion therapy and just all of that, like that. We're going to go backwards. So I just, I thought, oh my God, I just can't even be funny. And I said, no, I have to do this show because it needs to be heard. And what I also want to say is if you're listening to this show, and I was where the fuck was I going? It was Alabama. It wasn't Alabama. It was it Alabama? It was somewhere in the South. And
well, it could have been Arkansas with the A, I'm guessing.
yeah,
Right?
no, it could have been I can't remember. Anyway.
Okay.
This parent sees that I'm coming to their child's campus and wrote this email to me saying that I should be ashamed of myself and what I was doing to children and how I was messing them up and, all of this outrage and upset. And I emailed her back and I said, I can understand why you're upset. And I can understand why, looking at my video clip, you would think that I was going to go ahead and corrupt your child and that I was promoting promiscuity and premarital sex. I completely see how you could feel that and get that opinion. I want you to know that's not my intention. That's not what I'm trying to do, And at the end of the show, I shared that with the audience, and I had 3 young women come up to me and a guy, and it was my second time there. I had been there the year before, and they came up to me and said, I saw you last year, and I'm a virgin. I'm still a virgin. Seeing your show actually went ahead and confirmed my belief to wait until I got married. So there is no you have to, when to. There is no me trying to get people to go ahead and do anything. Again, it's a personal choice. And to respect that, to respect people's personal choice. If you want to wait till you get married, that's wonderful. I don't see anything wrong with people waiting to get married before that they have sex. The thing is, you still need to know how to have sex.
Into it one way or the other, that it comes from them, that not from outside sources, and then they can live with it. If somebody forces you to not be a virgin or to be a virgin, it's not as much fun, without the control over your own life. It's funny that way.
Well, the other thing too is that if you, I know people who wait to have sex. I waited. I was 21, going on 22 the first time that I had sex. I had no business having sex. Just because I waited, I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Right.
And maybe if I had a different, I may have waited longer. I don't know. The point is
or
that
if
give
you,
people
when you were
the
15
information.
or 16, had you the benefit of clear and open communication about what sex is, what you're trying to provide for young people, you might have been active earlier and for the better. Who knows?
I don't know if it would have been for the better.
Okay. Well.
I don't know, because I don't like to go ahead and say for the better, for the worse. All I know is that didn't work for me.
Right.
And it's personal. It's so personal, because I can't lean one way or the other. I don't come from the place of this is the only line that I believe should never, ever, ever, ever be crossed is having sex with the child.
Absolutely. Of course.
Because that's not consent. Right? That messes somebody up. And not having sex with an animal. That's where I draw the line. I actually had a therapist come up to me after a show and go, well, some people love their animals. I go, that's nice. Some people love small children, too. How do you know that's consent, that your animal's giving you consent?
You like to be around people who keep it within the species. It's just that simple, just from a social standpoint. The animal, what's the animal going to say?
Right, like they wrote you a love letter. Did they pick a flower for you?
Right, Wilbur.
The way he ate his dog food, I could tell. There is, it's clear consent.
Absolutely.
So those are the things that we're going to talk about. Those are the.
You're going to have a terrific show.
We'll be silly, and then we'll get serious.
Again, you can't, and I'm going to tell you, you're going to be on your own each show. Tell them your website. End with it. Start with it. Tell them where they can reach you. And
yes, you can reach me on Facebook.
Please.
tweet me
Yeah.
at Maria Falzone. Okay, say that a lot. And then also my sign-off. My sign-off is going to be, now go play with yourself.
You cannot beat that. I like it, Maria. You're going to be wonderful. I'm happy to be part of your first show. I'm delighted. I'm going to edit this with a little music. What do you like to listen to, Maria? What kind of music do you like?
Oh, God. I like alternative music.
Okay.
Can you put anything on, or is it just instrumental?
I could put anything you want to hear on. Who do you like? And I'll pull it up and give you a little music to bring you in at least.
There's a
We're
song.
producing on the air. Is this wonderful? People are going, shouldn't they have had their shit together before? No. We shouldn't have. The word shouldn't isn't something. Should and shouldn't. Nah. We do what we do. So what do you like?
I love Group Love, and there's this song, and I don't know the name of it. I think it's called St. Croix. And it's like, nobody's going to take this away from me.
Beautiful. Sounds great. St. Croix.
I think that's it.
It's
by
called
Group Love.
Yes.
Yes. And if we don't find it for this one, I'll get it for you, and I'll send you. Actually, when I get off the
I'll find
phone,
it. I'm a detective.
I will actually go ahead and get the right name, and I'll email you.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Okay,
Maria.
so people, this is me. This is me.
Maria Falzone.
I
didn't know that all these years. I thought it was Falzone.
Yeah, no. Make me as Italian as possible.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Hey, I'm going to sign off now and tell them everything went okay. Everything's fine.
Good. Can you do me a favor? Can you let me hear it before you put it on the radio?
No. You'll hear it. It'll be great.
Okay, great.
See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Adios, everybody.
Bye, everyone.